Thank you for auditing the always positive new music review show hosted by a French professor who might be straining at the expression always positive. This is going to be a positive review of the album The Last Slimeto by YoungBoy Never Broke Again, but it's a little bit more than that as well. You see, this channel is partly for me to do music reviews, and I try to stay positive because I think negative reviews are easy and they hurt art, for the most part. But it's also kind of professional development for me. So that's a term that's used in academia for professors who are like trying to expand and stay current in the field. You know, like as an example, if you study 17th century French literature like I did, and you don't read anything, you don't keep up on the new scholarship, you don't know what direction the field is going in. So as my scholarship, my intellectual endeavors go more and more towards hip-hop, more and more towards music, I need to know like what's going on. I need to listen to rap music, I need to listen to hip-hop that's outside of my comfort zone. I need to take it seriously, I need to see what's good about it, and I need to be able to speak about it with some amount of familiarity. So this week, Bobby Shmurda and YoungBoy NBA released albums. And both of them are artists that I've heard of. Their names kind of bounce around. If you're new to this channel, you know, I didn't pay attention to music in between 2002 and 2018. I grew up in the golden age of hip-hop in the 90s and all that. So, you know, I'm also 44 years old. So what do I know about young boys or schmurderers, right? So what I did was I asked my auditors. I went onto my community page and I said, what should I review? YoungBoy Never Broke Again, Bobby Shmurda, neither, or both. I got the fewest votes for both, with 8% of the vote. Bobby Shmurda got the second least votes with 14%. Then YoungBoy Never Broke Again with 27%. And 51% of my viewers said I should do neither. But hey, I am not a slave to the algorithm. I'm not a slave to my fans or anything, right? Like I'm really interested in trying to build something here on this channel. You know, when people said that I shouldn't review YoungBoy or Shmurda, they would say, you know, review More Mother instead. Review Lloyd Banks. And there are other albums. I really should get to that More Mother album. I should. Keep telling me that. I'll get to it eventually. But like, hip-hop, part of why it's so strong is that it has this mainstream that's so strong, and it has this alternative that's so strong. And even though my bread and butter on this channel, the most success I have is with underground hip-hop, I still think it's a disservice to the art form and to the people who make the art form just to purely study the things that are easier for me, perhaps a little bit more intellectual, perhaps a little bit more conscious. I also want to read you some of the people who convinced me to review YoungBoy Never Broke Again, or some of the talks. Josiah Nobles said, I used to view YoungBoy as a one-trick pony. There's even a tic-tac that pointed out his fans, portraying his brand as one of violent, over-exaggerated tough guy anthems. But I think he's taken his criticism in stride and continued to evolve his sound for the better. So here's somebody who's seriously considered YoungBoy and thinks that there's some evolution. Captain Ray says that I need to seriously consider YoungBoy. The pull he has on street music and being consistent while giving us the same song is almost like he is the Ramones of street music. He's perfect. I have to admit something. I've never understood why people like the Ramones. You can pull my music reviewer card. I'm sorry, but that's an interesting comparison. Whoever Captain Ray and Josiah Nobles should have their own YouTube channel. Kevin Molesby said, sadly, neither. And this is the best critique of both of them. This isn't to say they don't deserve a place in the scope of modern music, but it's the pressure to make the same music to please an easily distracted fan base. They are in the matrix of easily recyclable hip-hop. Hit-hop. I like that. It's an interesting idea. Hayuger says that I should probably wait to review Bobby Shmurda until he releases something more considerable, something more substantial. And then there's a great back and forth. And this is the thing about my comment section. It's the best. My comment section is the best because people are respectful, they're thoughtful, they're usually well-spoken. They apologize for making spelling errors, which is funny because I make spelling errors all the time. Just because I'm a professor doesn't mean I'm not a victim of spell check. But Jason Cowdill says that NBA is the most overrated rapper. I try to garner something redeeming from his music every release, and I'm left confused why people like him. Isaac McGowan said, I like him because he has good insight into what an intimidating persona is hiding underneath. He has plenty of music that pushes back against the narrative that's forced on him because of his personal life, and I don't know, his voice carries a lot of pain. Isn't that nice? Isn't that a nice back and forth? You know, Isaac's not calling Jacob an idiot. Jacob's not calling Isaac an idiot. He's like, I don't get it. And then this guy's like, here's what I get. Do you see why I focus on the always positive aspect? Because you get so much more out of positivity. It's not just like, I'm not trying to be like, everything's good, because everything is not all good. There's tons of garbage music out there. I'm not going to talk about that new Snoop Dogg, Benny Blanco, BTS song. I'm positive. Maybe catch me on Patreon. I might talk about it there. But I love this back and forth. But fundamentally, what got me to do it is Trap Lover, whose comments pretty often on my videos, says the professor's opinion on YoungBoy might break the internet. So I like that idea. Here I go. I'm going to break the internet with this. I might break the internet with this absolutely fabulous shirt. It doesn't look as good as I think it does. That's okay. So I want to really focus on a couple of things about the narrative of mainstream and underground rap, right? Because this is very clearly a very mainstream rap album. It has a lot of the hallmarks of mainstream rap. It is very successful. And, you know, like the last thing I reviewed was an underground Islamo-communist militant named Gais Guevara, who produced and rapped his whole album. And it's a very, very serious, wonderful, hard-hitting album. Last week, as I mentioned, anyone who will hear me, I got to sit in on a Q&A with Lupe Fiasco. We had a few back and forths. And, you know, like, obviously, Lupe Fiasco and Gais Guevara and NBA YoungBoy are totally different. But are they? Do they not represent the same material conditions? The same systematic racism, over-policing, systematic poverty, late-stage capitalism? Growing up with a sense of hopelessness and trying to figure out how to get out of a situation that they were put in against their will, generation after generation? Is it not the same material conditions? Is it not the same genre? It is. I don't care if it's underground, or if it's trap, or if it's drill, or if it's drill lap, or whip lap, or whatever. It's rap music. It's the voice of the voiceless. They have a very different approach, yet, very different outlook, yet, I think you'll find that there are a lot of similarities here. And the similarities come from the same material conditions. When I was growing up in the 90s, it was often put forth that Kurt Cobain and Axl Rose were opposites. That Kurt Cobain was there to destroy Axl Rose. Dude, those are the same guy. I mean, one of them killed himself and the other didn't, like actually kill himself, but sort of destroyed himself. But they're the same guy, you know? Okay, one's alternative and one was mainstream. But they were basically the same guy, even if their artistic output was so different. So when I was getting ready to do this, and I'm not saying that Lupe Fiasco and NBA YoungBoy are the same guy. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that their similarities are important to analyze. So like Axl Rose and Kurt Cobain growing up in kind of an empty society, being filled, you know, having their head filled with lies about masculinity, growing up in broken families, substance abuse, all those things actually bring them a lot closer. In the same way that Lupe Fiasco and Kentrell Gaulden, NBA YoungBoy's real name, have had similar struggles throughout their life. I did read the Wikipedia for NBA YoungBoy. God damn it. It's rough. It's rough. It's really rough. Born in 99 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Broke his neck while he was wrestling as a toddler. God damn, you know, I mean, all toddlers wrestle, okay? I wrestled. You wrestled. It's not a boy thing. It's not a girl thing. All toddlers wrestle. He broke his neck, had a head brace, has a scar on his head for it. Raised by his grandmother because his father was sentenced to 55 years in prison. already, just in that description, you see that he has faced more obstacles than most people face in their entire life. And he was just born. This dude was just born. Like 5 years ago, 22 years ago. That's not a very long time ago. He dropped out of high school in 9th grade and was arrested for robbery, sent to a detention center where he began writing lyrics. So here's this character, where the system failed him. He failed the system, I suppose you could also say, but still the system wasn't really there to help him. And he ends up in the school-to-prison pipeline, and then he ends up in prison, and apparently he's been in prison a couple times for gun possession over the last couple years. And he apparently has multiple, every time he does something, it goes number one. Apparently he has huge fans. Like fanatical people who love his music. So that's where I'm starting this whole review. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt of saying, well, that is quite a lot of things to face. He's extremely young. Most of my students are around 22 years old. I have nieces and nephews that are 22 years old. And I'm just going to take people seriously. When I'm told by people that I used to think he was a one-trick pony, but he's not, he's reacting well, and he's expressing his pain, that's part of what I'm interested in all of hip-hop. So let's get to this project, the album The Last Slimeto. I don't know what that means. I know I'm not supposed to know what it means. I don't really get the slime thing. You can tell me in the comments it has something to do with a gang, probably the Bloods. Oh no, that's not why I'm wearing red, by the way. I have no gang affiliation, in case you were wondering. If you want to roll, just wear neutral colors. If anybody asks you, just tell them you're my brother. Favorite rap line of all time, King T, Act 4. So I don't really get that, but I guess he's like a gang guy. So okay, that's a bummer. This album is so long. I thought Drake albums were long. Oh, stop. Do you know how hard it is when you're like me, when you're trying to be a music reviewer who takes every single song seriously, who takes everything into account, who listens to every production detail, who tries to analyze every single line, and I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready. What I do is I go to the gym. Before I go to the gym, I write out the name of every song of the album I'm going to review, because I listen to the album while I'm on the elliptical. And I write down all the songs in bold, and then I type up my notes in non-bold font. I kept going. I thought I was done. I kept going. 30 songs. 30 songs. Why so long? Okay, cynical. The cynical reason is he's draking it up. Drake figured out the way to game streaming is to have albums that are super long, so you get paid for each stream. Okay. A less cynical way came from, I watched this interview with his in-house producer, the in-house producer for NBA. Apparently NBA is like an affiliated group from Baton Rouge, which is nice to have another city in Louisiana represented. As a French professor, I approve. It means red stick. Named Jason Goldberg, who does a lot of the production here, and describes the working process for YoungBoy NBA. And the way he describes it is not is actually quite similar to the way I hear people describe other great rap artists, like Jay-Z. Like he says that he doesn't memorize he doesn't write anything down, yet he memorizes everything. According to Jason Goldberg, he can ask this guy who's recorded like 7,000 songs in the last 4.5 minutes, can name one song, and he can say every single lyric, even though he's never actually written them down. Jason Goldberg also says that he just simply doesn't use a studio. He's just very mobile. He just has a microphone and he records. So he's light. Lupe Fiasco recorded his album in 4 days because he didn't have to use a studio, and he's apparently going to do another one like that. I'm not saying they're the same guy, but I am saying there's a similarity there, that there's this push with the new technologies getting better and better to allow rap artists to be lighter and lighter and release either more quickly or more material. As I say, listening to this album by YoungBoy is like listening to the same album 3 times in a row. Normally, I listen to every album I review 4 to 5 times. I simply do not have the time in my life to do that. I got a baby on the way, and my kids are coming home from camp today. Just way too much. But I realized I'm thinking about it in the wrong way. I'm thinking about it in the old style. I'm thinking I just, picked up Jay-Z Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, and these, 12 or 13 songs are going to be the songs that I listen to over and over again. That's not the way these things are constructed. They're constructed for a certain amount of disposability, which is not the same thing as saying they're constructed poorly. It's not. It's just a different goal. It's a different artistic aim. It's hard because I am a guy who likes art. That the guy's Guevara album is art. It's a wonderful piece of art where each song is lovingly crafted and layered upon layered upon layered upon layered. On this album, every song is like 5 producers. Every song starts off with Toby on the track, Bobo hit that beat, Stripey couch on the track. I'm just saying things that I see. Stripey couch on the track. That's my producer name, by the way, Stripey couch. But yet there's all these producers and they're all just making not much. But if I'm being more kind to this album, and it's insane length, it's also that NBA YoungBoy is a really good rap artist. He's really good. He doesn't suck. He's not lazy. He doesn't just kind of whatever it is. Listen, old man. I'm talking to you, old man. I'm not talking to you, young man. Some old men watch these videos. Mostly, it's young people, But there might be people my age, and if you're my age, you grew up in that you watched that Dead End Hip Hop from last week where they talked about the most underrated albums of the 90s, and you had like 5 that they didn't mention. You're like, how are you not mentioning All We Got Is Us by Onyx? What the hell, Dead End? Okay, if you're one of those guys, hip hop guys, not rap guys, but hip hop guys, it's super easy to dismiss YoungBoy NBA because he raps so quickly and he kind of mumbles and it's not really clear what it is. But when you actually take time to listen to him, like I did, he's a really good rap artist who does a lot of different things. On the large scale, he has at least 2 different general modes, aggressive and emo. His aggressive mode is not particularly aggressive, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't understand a thing. I just don't. And I get it that I'm old and I'm white and I'm from the suburbs. But I'm old and white and from the suburbs, and I listen to southern rappers, and it's not like I don't understand anything. I can listen to Atlanta rappers and sort of get it. I don't get a thing from what this guy says. I mean, nothing. Oh, speaking of New Orleans, some guy on that Dead End Hip Hop gave a shout out to Choppa City in the Ghetto by BG, another great Louisiana album. That album is really underrated, by the way. That's the album that invented the term bling bling. So thank BG. There was a time where Lil Wayne was like the least interesting guy in Cash Money Records, by the way. I thought BG was going to be the guy. Okay, going backwards. So his aggressiveness, like when I actually read the lyrics, okay, he is talking a lot about guns and killing, but it doesn't have like a sort of cruelty to it. You know how some rappers, like, you get the sense that like they're just really bad people, like good artists but bad people, like Axl Rose. Like good artists but bad people. I don't get that sense from him. And then he has his emo side, but the emo side isn't just trying to be Juice WRLD, isn't just trying to be Drake. It's a little bit different. It's less self-pitying, more a description of his life. Frankly, based on that short paragraph I read in Wiki, he could be a lot more emo than he is. And the thing is, that's not it. Like, I'm actually underselling the amount of dynamism in his style. He's got so many different styles. I'll show you in one song how many different flows and styles and approaches and attacks he has. For a 22-year-old guy, it's really impressive. In general, I like the aggressive stuff way more than the emo stuff. And I find that the less I understand what he's saying, the more I like what he's saying. And that's not a diss. It sounds like a diss. That's maybe a little bit of a diss. But like when he's like rapping clearly, that's when he's usually more in his sort of emotional bag, and it just doesn't come across. But I have noticed in listening to the album 1.5 times, which of course by my math means around 6 times, I did come to realize that there are slight poetic flourishes which find their way in here, which I'm just pretty consistently surprised at the level of craftsmanship in his art, especially for a 30-track album. Smash the like bucket. I remembered. I made merch for Smash the Like Bucket. You can buy a shirt with a like bucket that has been smashed. Subscribe. No subscribe shirt. You can buy my other merch, like my Professor Sky mug here. You can leave comments like, why should I have not done this video? You can do another comment begging me to do more Mother. That is a good album. I've listened to it, but it's very dense. Speaking of dense, NBA YoungBoy is like the opposite of dense. Like every song, like it is and it isn't. Like the production is the opposite of dense because it's just one thing that happens. But then his rapping is let me get to a stamp. So why don't you click up above the bookshelf up there, okay, and listen to the song UMMHMM. This is a great example of what I'm talking about with NBA YoungBoy. Why I'm YoungBoy NBA? Which way is it? Tell me in the comments. Also, just Never Broke Again. Can we just, before I get to my stamp, can we just take a second to appreciate the sentiment of Never Broke Again? Compare that to Cash Money, Young Money, Billionaires, Millionaires, I got so much money, millionaires. Compare that to Rockefeller. Compare that to all these other expressions of wealth. Never broke again implies a desperation, which I think is pretty awesome. And I hope it's true. I hope everybody on Never Broke Again is able to live the rest of their life happily with the money that they have earned for, I assume, Universal Music Group. They probably won't. Most people on Never Broke Again will end up broke again. Because the people who run Universal are the true Never Broke Again. Sorry, I got Toby on hand. Okay, I'm going on here to So this shows the dynamism of his style. The production is nice on this one, kind of straight, kind of drill sounds, ominous low bass, slightly futuristic. And then he starts low, like his rapping style starts low and then gets more and more aggressive. He's able to play with quiet and low, space and flow. He goes super fast and then drops off, kind of sings and then just raps. Here's what I heard, the second half of the first verse. We may howday, Sido Rentals. When you see that oof-head roll down, don't fight back to that pro sound. These kids knock owl hose down. Bitch, get up out the way. That's what I hear. And then I read the lyrics. When you see that window roll down, don't fight back till that pole sound. This Kel-Tec could knock hose down. Bitch, get out the way. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, his flow is frankly hypnotizing. Like when he just starts going, you just kind of get into it. And it doesn't really matter that you can't pick up the words. And then we get to this great chorus. Which is slightly auto-tuned and a little bit catchy. And then he scales back for the second verse, and it's a totally different flow. Totally different from the first verse. He's kind of laughing. Calm, nice voice. Laughing, but I'll shoot you in your sheets. I think he's saying, like you'll creep in when you're sleeping. I don't know. And then halfway through the second verse, he does this super fast I got the money, I'm jiggling, I'm bouncing, I'm booting, I'm out gasso juggernaut. I don't know what about Augusto Juggernaut means, but that's what I got from the songs. And just, he's able to like really create little tiny dynamic instances within his songs like this. And then at the end, he gets ridiculously energized, ending each line with skirt, do the dash for them, skirt, like just skirt, like building up. And I know you're going to laugh about the Pete Davidson sketch, the skirt. No, it's good. It's very good. This song's very good. This song, I listened to 6 times. I had to listen to at least one song that many times. And the more I listened to it, the more I liked it because I just got to just dive into this dude's skill. Just the ability to just be like, create so many different sounds out of just one voice. A nice kind of instrumental outro, which reminds you of just a truly pedestrian beat that's really good for his flows. How many flows are in this song? I don't know. I counted at least 5, which is pretty good for someone who's 22 years old and who apparently is symbolic of the downfall of hip-hop music. Okay, I'm going to go through the rest of the album way quicker, or else I'd be here all day. I know, kind of piano start, like a guitar to start with a slide guitar. The voice is slightly auto-tuned. I was like, uh-oh, all auto-tune. Very little auto-tune this whole album, at least melodically. You can hear his voice. It's like, you can actually hear his mouth, like, at a certain point, like this. And that's cool. That kind of like intimacy. I regret doing that. That was probably kind of weird and gross. I don't edit my videos, so you should. Hopefully you're like listening to this in the background and you didn't see me do that. It's like you're getting consumed by a cannibal. But again, this has that slow to fast rapping. Next song, Hold Your Own, is a great example of kind of a boring rap track with all these producers named. Hey yo, bands, what's kicking? It's Malik on that track. Run that ish up, Jay. Chris James, what the F? like, did you need 4 people to make like this beat with like kind of like a trap beat, like some 70s sounds? But I like his aggressive style. This has that great just aggression that I can't quite pick up. Got a shooter inside with me, ain't got no name. They like who on him. Told youngin' don't leave the backside of that knife. They like who's owned him. That's me reading the lyrics. Don't leave the backside of that knife. They like who's owned him. Rap music. I am a linguist, okay? That's my thing. I study language. I teach language. I'm fascinated by language. Nobody plays with the English language more than a rap artist. Nobody. They have to. It's their living. They have to say so many words to say anything. Don't leave the backside of that knife. They like who's owned him. A human being came up with those words and put them together. Told youngin' don't leave that backside of that knife. They like who's owned him. I don't know what that means at all. I don't know what knife means. I don't know what zoning someone is. I don't know. But I do know this. I am swimming in these words. I find them enjoyable. I find them sonorous. The same joy that I get out of reading Yeats or Shakespeare, I get out of considering these words. Told youngin' don't leave the backside of that knife. They like who's owned him. How do those syllables go together? What do they mean? What is this guy saying? Don't leave the backside of that knife? What does that mean? What is a knife? I love it. And I understand it's not Lupe Fiasco. Okay, it's not Kendrick Lamar. You're not going to sit there and say, oh, look at the metaphor and metonymy and look at the intertextual. But it's something else. It's language taken to its extreme, to the edges of legibility, of comprehensibility. And in order to comprehend it, you have to know what nauf means and what zoning someone is. Have I been zoned? Have I left the backside of that nauf? I love it. It's fun. I'm happy I reviewed this. I apologize to the half of my audience who didn't want me to. Then we get the stamp, then top sound, kind of a weak reggae sound here, a little bit of a different voice. Almost sounds like Barrington Levy, I don't know. So many producers. Then My Time, super pop. Man, this dude gets poppy. Super high voice with a springy medley, kind of ghostly signs, a little bit more confessional. It seems like he's really trying to like have breakthrough hits with these confessional flows. He does use the term, want my neck for the noose. Another good kind of turn of phrase. Then we get free damn fives. I don't know what that means either. It's like 5 people are in jail? I can't tell. I only counted 4. Kind of simple piano, the flange guitar at the end of each bar, mumbling to start, all about freeing. Got this great end, a whole new flow that hadn't appeared in the rest of the album, kind of a heavy metal punk flow with this great distortion. And then he says that I am an effing problem. My Go-To featuring Kalani is bad. Bad track. Don't like it. I might like Kalani. I don't like her here. I do like that YoungBoy has 2 different flows in this verse, but I think this is the weakest track on the entire 30-track album. I think. Lost Soul Survivor. It's a weird title. What I like here is how his voice is doing all the work on the rhythm. It's kind of like that thing I was talking about with the Don't Leave the Backside of the Now if they who's on him. Like, because he's such a master with all of these syllables that he actually doesn't really need drums behind him. Builds up to this chorus that's all about surviving. Really interesting. I really do like this. He says that it's a life of a shada. I assume that's somebody who like is a low level like criminal in a gang. They know that I've been dealing with feelings. I'm not loving these women or effing with n's. Look at myself. I see blood on the picture. Remove them and I get back to them digits. You see what I'm saying? There's these little tiny poetic details. Look at myself. I see blood on the picture. So like is he just saying that he's a blood? Is this like a slime thing? I don't think so. I think he's seeing that he sees blood on an image of himself, like actual blood. Like out damn spot, going back to Shakespeare. And no, I'm not doing some cute ass thing where I'm like, NBA YoungBoy is just as good of a poet as Shakespeare. I'm not saying that. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm not saying he's as good of a poet as Kendrick Lamar. I'm not saying he's as good of a poet as Reverend Run, okay? What I'm saying is that there is something that poetry does that this does too. And it's that bathing in language and images and that sense that you get. Okay. I need to make sure I'm not trying to get too cute here. Even in my cute shirt. Are these like leaves or... Yeah, they're leaves. Okay, they're not little kisses. F, the industry has a great piano loop to start. Totally unclear. I don't know what he's saying. Don't... Like, okay. I tried to write out what I was able to understand him say. Dear first at the store, still look at the tensions. Builds again with energy, great slight alteration, an interesting line, keep drugs inside my body, don't let them take my soul. Drugs are an interesting theme on this album. Next song is called Kamikaze. All these different people on the beat. Some guy's name is Havoc on the Beat. Hey, Havoc on the Beat, back off, bro. You don't get to call yourself Havoc on the Beat. There's already a producer named Havoc. And he's great. You don't get to be Havoc on the Beat. You can't name yourself DJ Premier on the Beat. You can't name yourself Timbaland on the Beat. You can't just add on the beat to another better producer's name. I said it. I don't know who Havoc is. Maybe he's a nice guy. Maybe he doesn't know that Havoc is already taken. Really kind of minimal drill beat here, yelling and rapping. I do like this play with words and rhythms. Next song is called Swerving. Swerving on the E-way? I don't know what the E-way is. At times, I swear to God, I hear a small harmony at a certain point. And then the second verse is just a truly wonderful verse. And I don't think I picked up one word. Stay the same as we're entering the emo mode, more gentle style. Trying to take my pain, but staying the same. F you, you can die. Everything I've been going through, trying to hit the truth here. Home Ain't Home featuring Rod Wave, more sensitive stuff. All the ones that love me are gone. Feeling like my home ain't no home, and I've been feeling like the ones who I know love me all gone. This is great. I mean, there's isolation in fame. And I think that isolation is particularly strong for people who grew up in isolation already. So if the Wikipedia was accurate, he's growing up with his grandmother, he's in and out of jail, he's in and out of detention centers, he's finding communion with people in a gang setting where a lot of people are either killed or put up in jail. He's already feeling a lot of alienation, and then here he's feeling like my home ain't my home. Rappers need more empathy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe he's a bad person in real life. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow it'll come out that he tortures people. I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy except what I told you. But when he says feeling like my home ain't no home, it's easy to just hear that and go, yeah, that's just some rapper complaining about whatever. But I feel like it's more. That feels like a very strong line. Now, even though I can't stand the beats on this, they got snap beats. It's interesting. 7 Days. I like this song because this song appears to be about addiction, but really about recidivism, about going back to old ways. I ain't trying to say a thing. I can barely think. I said I quit for 7 days and then I'm back on the drink. So about going back to this addiction to codeine. I really like this beat here, that anger and pain I hear. Like, I hear a song like 7 days, and I totally get it. I hear a song like, I hear a song like 7 days, and I get it, NBA YoungBoy fans, YoungBoy NBA fans, YoungBoy fans. Digital reminds me, speaking of Cash Money, reminds me a lot of Cash Money, like 20 years ago. Nice kind of swirling beat, super simple and dumb, but just great dynamics. And now the album is half over. I did not mean to say that like Nardwuar. No, but seriously, come on. How long have I been talking about this album? Vet Motors is another ominous beat. This is my question for you. Are you seriously telling me there's only one person rapping on this song? I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I cannot believe this is just one person. There has to be a couple different people. Like a laughing style, a yelling style, fast, a slow, a singing. Tell me there's only one person on Vet Motors. Tell me. If there is only one person on Vet Motors, then the only logical conclusion is YoungBoy NBA is a very talented and excellent rapper with an astounding range of cadences and flow. So I say. Next song is called Slow Down. What? I read the lyrics. Eagle beaks to the street, flowers bought to put on a grave. I'm wishing when it's time that my grandbaby do the same. Eagles beak to the street? What? Little poetic flourishes. Don't Rate Me, featuring Quavo from, who's one of the Amigos, and Amigos, has an actual chorus, has an actual second part. A rarity on this album is some development of any song. Don't Rate Me, Ain't No Limit to What I Can Do. Actual second verse here. I really like Quavo on here, he's quite good. A humorous annotation from Genius about the song's about. In the song, both artists rap about extravagant lifestyle, their money, firearms, and ammunition. However, YoungBoy focuses mainly on the subject of money and firearms, whereas Quavo focuses on firearms. This is the real bummer about all this stuff, is I think YoungBoy's in jail for firearms, right? So, why talk about guns? Just talk about cars. You have a whole song later on the album where you just yell at someone for not knowing the difference between a Cullinan and a Ghost. Why you would spend money on a British car. Just all the things you could do with lots of money. You buy a British car? Italy makes lots of great cars. Even France makes great cars. America makes great cars. Anyways. Proof is the next song. Just, the album's so punishingly long. I like it, but this is what I'm saying. I felt like I was hitting play on the album for the third time. That my childhood friend named Mel on the phone right now, he effed up telling me to hold it down. I'm all alone. He got a disease inside his body. I'm trying to pay for to get it gone. That isolation, right? That's the sense. That's the sense that we get. If we scale back and we take ourselves out of 2022 and we try to analyze what gangster rap or drill rap or trap rap or whatever any of this mainstream crime-related hip-hop music is, the isolation is what really jumps out to me. The sense of being alone. The sense of the more money you have, the more alone you are. The less money you have, the more alone you are. No matter what it is, and all the people who you care about are dying. And this time, it's a guy named Mel, and he's not dying because he's a slime, and he's not dying because he's shot on the street. He's got a disease, and this guy's trying to pay to get it gone. And I don't think he'll be able to. I think YoungBoy is going to have to see another person die. Next song is called 4KT Bell. Baby. Sorry, there's a bell in the song. I like that. Kind of a sparse beat. Totally unclear song. I don't know what this is about. Seems to be a kind of a violent song. But the only lyric I was able to parse was, can't get my daddy off that cocaine. Ouch! Dude. That's what I hate about the isolation. This person needs family. This person needs community. He needs love. He needs care. I've known people whose fathers were on cocaine. I don't know anything about like the life experience of growing up in Baton Rouge and being a slime god or whatever. The only slime I knew was watching Double Dare. But like, I know people whose parents were on cocaine. That's rough. That's a really rough thing. And he just throws it in here. Rappers need more empathy. Next song is called The North Bleeding. Isn't he from Baton Rouge? I guess that's sort of like more northern in Louisiana. Or maybe he's from the north side of Baton Rouge. I don't know. Again, sort of a simple drill beat. He kind of stops rapping at a certain point and says like, da-da-da-da-da-da, I'll kill your friend. Next song is called Loner Life. Back to that isolation. Sorry, my dog Toby's right down there. I guess he was feeling a little bit alone. Toby, you want to say hi to everybody? My dog is way too intense. So, Loner Life, kind of more emo mode, punchy guitar sounds, acclaimed emotions, a little bit more soulful here, a little bit more lyrics about, like, I went from this to that, came from hand-me-downs to my own clothes. Next song's Wagwan, which is Jamaican patois for what's up. He says he's too street for the industry. While this song is, like, the most pop song on the entire album, I think this is a bad time to say you're too street for the industry. I think this song... Oh, Jesus. I think this song is too industry for the street. Oh, congratulations, Professor Sky. What wizardry of criticism, where you've simply taken what he said and turned it around on itself. So clever. All right. But the point remains. That's not in my notes. I don't have a script. I have notes. That was improvised. I should have let it go. This song is too industry for the streets. The hell do I know? Toby, why are you looking at me, buddy? I'm not going to let you outside. It's way too hot out there. I let you out there, and like within 3 minutes, you're doing that thing where you pant and you smile. Next song is called Ghost. This is that song, like, it's not a ghost, it's a Cullinan. I gotta skip, okay? I gotta skip. Dude, I can't listen to this much of this music all at once. It's too much. Next song, Nightfall. Great song, though. I like this, more attacking mode. I thought he said he had to talk to J. Cole, and then I looked up the lyrics. I just parked the rental, be patient, I'm on my way now. Backyard of my grandma's house with my cousins, that was the playground. Shotty zipped him up, flooded the scene, still in my face found. Mikey Mary, denim in jeans, FaceTime, and Jake called. So I thought he said, I FaceTime J. Cole. And that'd be interesting. I believe he says at some point, I came from the gutter where a pastor be telling you lies. Nice. Shots fired at the church. Next song's called Holy. Skip. By the end here, I just skip. I got the bag. Oh, kind of Little John energy. Skip. I couldn't do it. But fortunately, the last two songs are quite interesting. I will discuss one of them. Mr. Green Ripper. Mr. Green Ripper. Mr. Grim Reaper. Hey, that's a tongue twister. Can you say Mr. Grim Reaper 3 times in a row? You try it right now. You're laughing at me because I said Mr. Green Ripper, but you say Mr. Grim Reaper. 3, 2, 1. See? You said Green Ripper too. A song about death and trauma. Now again, I started off this whole thing saying that the underground, Gais Guevara and Lupe Fiasco are seemingly the opposite, but are they? This whole song is about death and trauma. The death and trauma that is visited upon people who grew up in these situations which were created as legacies of slavery, legacies of systematic racism, legacies of overcriminalization of drugs, legacies of wealth gap, of effing Reaganomics. May burn in hell. Okay? Toby, you're not a Reaganite. Shut up. Like, that's what this song's about. Rappers die too much. That's it. That's the verse. That's this verse. Lupe Fiasco did a great job talking about rappers die too much. But what rappers die too much? Rappers like NBA YoungBoy die too much. And he describes this death. And this is the thing, you know? Like, I grew up... Toby, I know, death is sad. Toby, out. Out. Get out. No one wants to hear you whine. Out. Like, there's so much death and trauma in this guy's life, if we are to believe him. And when I think about my life, obviously all life has death and trauma, and no one has an easy life, and no, you know what I mean? But still, I don't know anybody who was shot. I don't know anybody who knows somebody who was shot. I probably don't know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's shot. And I think that makes me a very privileged person, but I also think that makes me pretty typical for my upbringing based on my privilege. So when he has these lyrics, why Dave died as a child, Baby Joe got shot in front of his child, wonder why a flag, a part of our style, want to get out, but wonder why that I can't stop. So the flag, I believe, is mentioning his gang flag, and he's just talking about all these people he knew who died and how they died and why. And then we get to this chorus, headed to be dead or gone, I don't want to leave. Rappers die too much. That's it. That's the verse. Hey, Lupe Fiasco, great job. Hey, NBA YoungBoy, great job too. This is what we need to be talking about. I say, Father, I'm sorry, all my pain got me heartless. I just want to find some peace, but I'm like Mr. Grim Reaper. I don't mean to disturb your time. I just want to ask you, can you leave my family out? You got it hard, and most of all my laying up in the graveyard. All this death and trauma. Now, here's what fascinates me the most about this album and the ending, especially in conjunction with drill music and Zion. The next song is called I Hate YoungBoy. And I'm not going to talk about this song. You vultures? You scum? Who enjoy this music? This song? Let me tell you why. I read about the song, okay? It's about a rap beef. Ah, cool. This is for my entertainment. Entertain me, rap people. Killer people. Kill each other for my entertainment. Ooh, is this beef? Trap Lord Ross, man, you son of a bitch. I'm sorry, but rappers die too much. That's it. That's the video. There's some beef between YoungBoy NBA and some other really young, really talented millionaire. Some other guy who actually made it out. Some other guy who grew up in very similar material conditions. Under the very similar circumstances. And now they are rapping about killing each other. And maybe they will, and maybe they won't. But are you going to look at me right now and tell me they probably won't? There will probably not be another death of a talented young black man in this country for my entertainment, for your entertainment, Trap Lord Ross? Is that who we're entertaining? The Trap Lord Ross videos? Oh, really? Is that the gang? Why don't we talk about Ronald Reagan? He's the guy who's killing all these people. Sorry. I didn't expect to get so passionate. But I hate YoungBoy. Because I love YoungBoy. I love Lil Durk. I love humanity. I love my brothers and sisters. We're all in this together. And I don't want them killing each other to sell more albums, to make me entertained. So that I can watch a video some British dude saying how sad it is before he does a commercial for Toby VPN. Well, I got heated. Hey, my Patreons are here. They help me buy music. They make sure that I get to buy music. So that's pretty awesome. I kind of do a little close up there. I got my cinematic style, There you go. And wait. Okay. There you go. Well, until next time, you want to watch me let Toby out. Okay, I'll let Toby out. You're still there, buddy. You want to go out? Go on. Go see how hot it is. Go free. Yeah, you regret it, don't you? There's the camera.